Welcome to a 1v1 on Semoskiy Summer. This game is going to be 1-0-5-2-8-9-3-7-5-7 versus Lumpy. We've got Overcommando West on the left side versus Soviets on the right side. Luftwaffe Ground Forces, Elite Armor, and Scavenge versus Shock Rifle. We're going to see a 3 conscript opening here from Lumpy, throwing up some green cover sandbag positions here as he makes his way towards the central village. And then a combat engineer squad here in the north, taking control of the fuel point. Conscripts moving to take control of the victory point, taking control of the strategic point here as well. I'm not being like Dane though, Queen Ratchet. Like, the difference between that guy and you and Ari Forever is you guys are actually kind of funny sometimes. You guys actually make me laugh, at least some, like, in other people's streams. In my stream you can be like a little annoying sometimes, but like that guy, I have like literally never laughed at anything he's had to say. That's the difference. He's not funny, and a troll that's not funny has just why, like, why even bother? Anyway, Stern Pioneers crossing the road right here. Nice flank on that, on those Stern Pioneers right there, doing nice damage to these conscripts in the middle of this engagement. Lumpy responds to that pretty gracefully though, trying to cross the cemetery into green cover over here.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
And at least the retreat path is clear if he Uras down here, so that's what Lumpy's doing here. He has gone with a 4 conscript opening, gets to safety here in the south. Conscripts taking control of the strategic points in this area. And Folks Grenadiers are going to take control of the strategic and victory points. This squad making its way towards the building. Pretty aggressive opening here from this sequence of numbers. He's going to throw some ghost sandbags down here on the cemetery too, interestingly enough. I'm not sure why. That's going to deny his own movements probably more than Lumpy's at this point, but I guess we'll see. This squad's just going to defend the cutoff and green cover for now. That squad retreating for healing? Yes, no, yes, healing. Healing has been researched. AT grenades also in progress, interestingly enough. His opponent has knock-on Kuba wagons, so I'm not sure what that AT grenade research is all about, but alright.
AT grenades now available to all conscripts. The enemy has cut off a sector.
And that squad will be forced to retreat right there.
Forces capturing supply sector.
Combat engineers running away from the north also after they apparently gave up capturing the victory point, went for this cutoff, and then just retreated away from Folks Grenadiers. I missed what happened there. Ooh, conscripts caught those Stern Pioneers way out of position. They'll be forced to retreat. Ooh-rahing across the road into close range on already wounded Folks Grenadiers should win this engagement and get back control of this cutoff. And he does. Ooh, I think he caught them constructing that barbed wire. That's why. That's why they were so low. And he will be able to destroy this ghost eventually. It's a pretty sturdy ghost. It's gonna take a little while. There, it's going down though. And he will recover the right half of this green cover position. Interesting flank over here by this squad of conscripts. Going quite deep by the battle group headquarters. His opponent didn't even notice this squad making its way up here, and he might try and wall off this retreat path with sandbags or something, I don't know. Or just try and decap the cutoff. This squad of Folks Grenadiers hit the mine here in the north and took 4 losses. Immediately forced off the field by that. Pretty good mine. And he didn't quite finish decapping the point before just retreating to get healed. He doesn't want to take any more manpower bleed than he has to right there. He will, he does have shock rifle, gets to the 2 CPs, will have access to shock troops soon. A couple more ghosts getting destroyed here in the center. If there's something strange in your neighborhood,
Shock troops have arrived.
then shoot at it.
We have mine detectors. Now we can enemy fire.
It's the obvious solution.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Thanks for the follow, Average Gamer 369. Much appreciated. Conscripts engaging against stern pilots right here on the green cover wall. That squad's going to be forced to retreat. Take the south retreat path. This is actually works, I think, in Lumpy's favor. I have yet to see these ghosts actually do something good for the Overcommando Commando West, honestly. I feel like retreating south is a good thing. I don't know.
Shock troops awaiting deployment. Taking losses. The sector is at risk.
See? Everybody wins. He's not bothering anybody in chat, and I start getting money.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
That is clearly the best decision I've made all night. I regret nothing. Shock troops making their way through the middle.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Not gonna go in too hard, and Minesweeper squad here on the cutoff is going to make its way
Men have arrived.
up here towards the north, but yeah, they're not going to be able to do anything. There's the retreat. This squad of Volksgrenadiers is going to make its way down here, get control of that cutoff, shut down Lumpy's munitions income. Two squads making their way towards the center now. Shock troops and conscripts. Also, Machba. How are those cons destroying those sandbags? Attack move. You can just select the squad and right-click. Just right-click the sandbag and they will destroy it that way. And it's a lot faster to do with automatic weapons like with shock troops, for example. But Lumpy is ignoring the ghost for now, trying to focus on killing these shocks or these Volksgrenadiers for now, and trying not to take too much bleed or damage on these shocks. Wants to use them as effectively as possible. Goes into a short engagement range if he can. Off to a good start right here. Apparently does not want to cross this open ground. Stern Pioneers in the general area while he waits for support to arrive. This is almost Lumpy's entire army available for this push. He will secure control of the building right here. He does not have access to Molotovs, so grenades are the only engagement turning tool he has. Grenade into the church does very minor damage. The Stern Pioneers will be the first squad to retreat. There is no retreat point unlocked right here. Grenade tossed into the shrubs deals a lot of damage to those Volksgrenadiers. And those three squads may not be able to hold the line against this quantity of Soviet forces, but Lumpy should try to lead them. Really? He's not actually going to do this, is he? Okay, no, he canceled. He's just trying to bluff his opponent into getting out of that house, apparently. Okay. For a second, I wasn't sure what I was about to witness. Oh no! He just grenaded himself! Oh, he just took huge damage from that. You cannot throw grenades over these trucks. You're just gonna... Look at that. Oh my god, he just annihilated his own army so bad for 30 munitions. Meanwhile, barely any conscripts have even died. The shock troops have retreated though, so that's good. That is my email, Justin. You can type !requests if you want to double check. Also, sorry that Moobot is so rude. So rude, Moobot. Volksgrenadiers engaging against these conscripts. Bringing them quite low. It looks like Lumpy will not succeed in overwhelming this position this time, but he managed to get a field gun all the way up here somehow. That was sneaky. Field gun is putting pressure on the structure. The final squad of conscripts will try and hold this position, but a grenade going into the house will collapse the structure. And it looks like everything is going to have to pull back. Stern Pioneers are back on the front line as well. And the number sequence has not spent his resources on much of anything other than reinforcement during that engagement, which he did manage to miraculously survive, leaving him at about 800 manpower right now, which he might choose to use on Fallschirmjäger, which he has access to, Jaeger Light Infantry, or nothing. Actually, no, he just spent it on something. Raketenwerfer, okay, Raketenwerfer in production, trying to protect himself against armor. It may be on its way soon. Shock troops are back on the field, but they're going in without support and immediately retreat. Apparently that was probably a misclick by Lumpy. Didn't mean to send them in unsupported and alone. The rest of his squad's here in the base, healing and reinforcing, and he is going to go tier 4 in addition to his shock rifle Collins. He will have access to the Katyusha, I think, is probably what he's going to try and go for here. Would probably be a nice thing to have to pound his opponent's defenses in the central village. Not to mention there's a tier 4 being built in an extremely dangerous location down here, completely without support or vision. But Lumpy fortunately has no squads on the way to harass down there. This is just one of many reasons, by the way, that you should always be probing and harassing territory as allies, because you never know if you're going to just stumble upon something like this and just win the game, just because you happen to be in the right place at the right time. Mines going down right here on this approach, but I'm pretty sure Lumpy spotted that. So, probably gonna send his minesweeper there. Try and get that cleared up. Tier 4 structure is done. Su-85 or Katyusha will be options very soon as he collects the manpower or fuel that he needs. Shock troops are going to toss a grenade. I don't know if that's going to detonate the mine. No, it didn't. He didn't see that getting planted. Fortunately, his squad was not very clubbed for that advance. It takes only one loss. Shock troops working the flank while conscripts advance frontally. Look like they will be able to break through. This squad was forced to retreat. This squad taking a little damage. Lumpy keeps retreating his shock troops maybe a little early. Maybe before he could have forced one more retreat from these Volks Grenadiers. Tried to maybe turn the engagement in his favor. He could also try and use smoke. Try and get into closer range. Something to think about. This squad of conscripts is available here to take control of the south strategic point. And the AT gun is trying to get a line on battle group headquarters, but it has to make sure to do so safely with a healthy meat shield of conscripts in front of it so that those stern pioneers can't just walk up and kill it. And yes, I did see it. I see this Lumpy. It does have some ghosts blocking that approach, but of course shock troops could destroy those extremely quickly, or even just conscripts could destroy that ghost in a few seconds. The squad of conscripts making its way around this approach again will engage against these Volks Grenadiers, jumping into green cover right here to try to engage against this stuff. Minesweeper is forced to retreat when it encounters the tier 4 structure, which now Lumpy will know about. He has chosen Katyusha. If he went, by the way, even Su-76 could easily just drive down here and just kill this thing. There's really nothing now down there protecting it at all. And, in fact, this placement with a hedge right next to it means an Su-76 could just drive to, like, right there and just shoot through the hedge and, like, guaranteed kill it really fast. So, not sure what I think about that placement. If you are going to put it down there, you should probably at least make some kind of effort to protect it, but whatever. Incendiary artillery being dropped on everything here in the central cemetery. Not really doing anything with that particular spread. Minor damage to that Volks Grenadier squad, which gets away with one man remaining. These three squads making their way through the cemetery are putting pressure on these conscripts to retreat. And where would I recommend putting that truck? I would just put it anywhere where you can actually defend it. If you put it somewhere in this general area, it can protect your battle group, and if you put it in your base, it'll just be safe. Putting it in your base is fine, but you won't obviously get the added benefit of the top mount gun, so something to keep in mind. You can also, if you're feeling very aggressive, put it actually here in this road And it will protect the center VP, and it'll protect the various area in the central village. But you should only do that if you're going for a very aggressive strategy, and you don't think that your opponent is going to have any hard form of indirect fire, such as a heavy mortar, Katyusha. Probably work better against US forces than anything else, and even then it's extremely risky. You have to maintain a very aggressive force by your opponent's cutoff, but I have seen that work. Not this patch though, since Over Commando West seems to be extremely difficult to pull off this patch, aggressively or defensively. These squads here in green cover force everything to retreat. 2 squads running across the road right here will have access to green cover to maybe try and shut down this push. He has the frangible grenade, which he should maybe consider throwing right now. Molotov toss is going to flush everything out of cover. Stuff needs to get back to safety. Thank you, Linfloss. Yes, I am very proud to finally be partnered. And unfortunately, Dreamer Dude, you did miss your 2v2. I just cast it. But I will be throwing it up on YouTube, and you can catch it there by like tomorrow. Couple squads here by the battle group headquarters getting some healing. We'll be able to get that repaired also very soon.
We are taking fire!
We have the point secured, but the enemy wants it back!
Supply sector under attack.
We are taking losses!
We are as ready as we can be.
Soldiers ready.
Mines going down here in the road. That stuff is going to start making its way towards the front line again. Field gun's going to make its way forward. Maybe try to get a line on anything. Field gun probably would not really be very safe to go straight south, try and destroy that structure. I mean, honestly, if I'm being totally honest, it probably could go down there and blow up tier 4 without anything stopping it in time. But sending an AT gun that deep is pretty dangerous because you don't want it to get stolen. So I can see why Lumpy wouldn't want to do that. He's up to 175 fuel, I suspect. I mean, obviously he's going to try and go for Collins at this point, so IS-2 is going to be a little late. It's unfortunate he's not going to be able to punish this faster, and it does mean that a Panther is going to hit the field this game.
Be brave, comrades! What do you have for us?
And these 2 squads here in the north need to get some territory under their control, if at all possible. Ooh, Katyusha bombarding in the middle. I think that hit a little bit of... No, not really. Not really. Everything's going to pull back to safety. 2 squads of Obersoldaten on the field, by the way. So with that as his elite infantry force, and this is his core, he's probably going to want to think about picking a commander at some point. He still hasn't picked a commander. He's doing pretty good. Doing very well for himself, in fact, on Over Commando West Core, which generally is quite lacking. Over Commando West Core is generally pretty bad. So,
We have it.
doing pretty well for himself considering. No Fusiliers, no Fallschirmjäger, no MG34, no Jaeger Light Infantry. Just Volksgrenadiers and Obersoldaten and Rakettenwerfers, Sturm Pioneers. And the blob is getting pretty real. He's going to want to be careful about that behavior. KV-8 is going to shred him so bad, but fortunately there is a Panther here. Panther and Rakettenwerfer. KV-8 tries to finish off that squad, but they will round the corner just in time. And that KV-8 should definitely disengage or it's going to die. I don't know if it's going to be able to survive this. Is it really just going to YOLO straight into the base? That KV-8 is not giving up, apparently. It might be able to pick up that one Volksgrenadier squad before dying. No. Nope. KV-8 is dead. Katyusha is available to fire. Might be considering moving that up at some point. Combat engineers taking control of the strategic point here in the south, and conscripts grabbing the victory point. Incendiary artillery dropped in the base. Timed pretty well with these 2 squads retreating through the fire, though. Wipes. Possibly both. Why aren't they moving? Both wiped. Wow, that incendiary artillery was really good. Fortunately, his opponent did not react to it in any way and loses a bunch of his infantry squads. But both of his obers are still alive, so that's the good news. And his panther's alive, and he killed a KV-8, so the loss of those Volksgrenadiers hurts, but I don't think that's the end of the world by any means.
Anti-tank gun is ready for action. Incendiary artillery is now available.
Find cover!
Katyusha.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Excuse me. Katyusha bombarding the battle group headquarters doesn't look like it's really hitting anything.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Oversoldaten have been fully reinforced and are engaging against various infantry here in the center. Wow, more incendiary artillery being dropped. We'll clear the Rickhead Warfare, but other than that, isn't going to inflict any serious harm. Panther hovering on this side of the river. And a couple units are gonna await some healing here by the base. Sturm, what was that?
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
A full squad of Obers just got wiped on a mine. Wow, that is awful. That is just sucks.
Under 80 gun attack!
Full squad of Obersoldaten wiped. That's half of his elite infantry force. And engine destroyed on the Panther from an AT grenade. Oh my god, the horrible luck for this player right now. This is so heartbreaking. Full squad of Obersoldaten killed.
Ready to fire.
Panther's engine destroyed. And 2 field guns are on their way to try and kill this thing. It is going to barely get behind a shed, but I don't know if he's going to be able to hold these conscripts back. I'm surprised that squad just retreated right there. Ooh. Mortar almost wipes these Volksgrenadiers. He's getting a little bit of manpower flow together, like a tiny amount. Enough to field maybe one replacement squad of either Obers or Volksgrenadiers and further reinforcement. Maybe field a squad of Fallschirmjäger or something. He's extremely behind for infantry at this point. Fortunately, the Sturm Pioneers will be able to get this Panther repaired and he will
Enemy
not
forces are attempting to capture our territory.
be horribly punished for that.
It is
Engine
now
crit.
under our control.
Katyusha firing. Ooh, that was a pretty good Katyusha barrage. She's not really moving to dodge that in any way, and the Volksgrenadiers get wiped right there. Meanwhile, here in the center, another squad just got wiped by... Or wait, no they didn't, never mind. Shock troops are just taking control of the victory point, and everything will be forced to retreat back to the battle group. This squad's still sitting in the base, could consider salvaging that. But he is now down to only 4 units remaining against this huge Soviet army. Shocks and all conscripts still alive, mortared, everything. I don't think Lumpy's lost anything this game, in fact. Except for a KV-8.
This now belongs to the people and workers of the Soviet Union.
Conscripts are going to retreat away from the north. A couple of squads moving to get this victory point munitions back under control while the Panther defends the battle group headquarters. Lumpy is going to have access to an IS-2 very soon, and incendiary artillery is going to delay capture here of enemy stuff in the north and further bleed manpower.
Our enemy has only
Little over
200
100
points.
manpower worth of damage inflicted on these very expensive infantry squads.
Enemy
Here comes the
forces capturing
IS-2.
supply sector.
It looks like we're going to see Lumpy make a huge push to destroy the Tier 4 in the south, which he will be able to do completely unopposed. There's nothing to stop him at all. He's going to leave the rest of his forces here in the center to defend the victory point, leaving the shock troops for high damage output on any infantry squad that attempts to take control. Mortar for softening up of the battle, which he should keep. He should keep that thing firing. By the way, he needs to move that thing up a little bit into range to maybe get some lucky hits off on those stern pyos. And he's got a minesweeper here too. Minesweeper could probably go south to destroy the tier 4 with the rest of his. Wait, that's not what he's doing. Never mind. I thought he was going down there. I could have sworn, but suddenly he's back in the middle. So just kidding.
Tanks.
We are bleeding, comrade!
50 caliber machine gun turret has arrived.
Wow, that overshoot. That was terrible. That was nowhere close to hitting anything. Shock troops get into super close range on those overs. They're melting them. I'm melting. They will survive barely, and the shock troops will be forced to retreat. Fortunately. IS-2 engaging against all this stuff, can't seem to hit anything. If it can fire at targets that are up against shot blockers, it might have slightly better luck. AT gun is well positioned to punish that Panther for getting too close, and Lumpy could benefit from tossing a few Molotovs, which he has researched, by the way. He's just not really using them. Trying to punish some of these squads for holding too still, although a Katyusha barrage is about to do just that. Clears the Rakettenwerfer and forces everything else to back away from the battle group headquarters.
Threat eliminated!
Threat eliminated.
Waiting for your command! What do you need?
Field guns have a line on that structure, nothing moving to counter. They will have no problem destroying that.
We are ready to go, comrades!
Except for just missing constantly, which is a very real possibility. Conscripts move up to provide vision.
Armor is engaging us! All infantry, bring fire!
Incendiary artillery is available for this stuff. Katyusha will be available to fire in not bad students. And the shock troops are still on their way back to the field over here on the cutoff, trying to get those into range, supporting this engagement. Numbers is on his very last legs, although he has fielded most of his manpower reserves into a fresh few sets of Volksgrenadiers to try and give himself some meat to soak up bullets on the front lines, but his own elite infantry squad is not going to be present when those shock troops come back, and what that means is there's not really anything that can stop them from killing everything. Unless they stay at max range. Here they go, tossing a frag grenade. Plus they've got mortar supply. What does that retreat? They only just got here. Where are they going? Alright. Hi Chimptacan. How's it going? Conscripts are going to pull away from the engagement. Obersoldaten making their way back to the front line to provide slightly stronger firepower source, damage source. Ooh, that high explosive barrage wiped by the field gun and supported infantry. Another squad. That was his vetted squad of Volksgrenadiers too. Not a loss. I think he can afford that. What is that Panther doing? Oh, it's driving right into the field gun wall. Takes huge damage that it can't afford to take, although the Sturms will repair it quite quickly. IS-2 probably could have just driven up and killed it, though. Honestly, there's no other anti-tank left. The Rakettenwerfer's dead. Rakettenwerfer just died. Panther is the only thing that could even hurt an IS-2 left on this battlefield. Katyusha is bombarding this area and everything is so clumped. Fortunately, it's pretty off target. It'll be okay.
Enemy contact!
Harassment attempt for the north will fail. Conscripts will have no problem defending that against a almost dead Folks Grenadier squad and get some
Engineers ready
territory
for
under
assignment.
control. Looks like this is GG. I don't think there's anything that number guy can do to recover from being triple capped and having lost his entire army. He does have a Panther on the field, but that's not really worth much. He's chosen
We
elite
have
armor,
taken the
though.
enemy down to 50 points.
If only he had floated more manpower for the Panzer IV call-in, surely that would have saved him. Surely that would have saved him.
Enemy is engaging
If
us!
only he could have fielded those Panzer IVs.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
I should ask Cynthia for permission to just violate NDA. Like, can I just talk about...
We are losing territory.
Can I just talk about the things that are changing? It would really add an interesting
The enemy is down to 25 points.
element to my
Victory is in our
commentary if I
grasp.
could comment on how factions were being changed as a result, because of like certain things that currently exist. Oh well.
Mine detectors have arrived.
Replacements have arrived!
18 guns moving up,
People
put
anticipate our victory.
final pressure on the battle group headquarters right here. Doesn't matter though. Sync error detected. Is it over? Yes. Okay. Everything's frozen. Sync error detected, which means he quit. It's quit. GG. Lumpy takes it. I think Lumpy could have put even more pressure on his opponent by attacking this structure. He didn't have to dedicate very much to the destruction of this, by the way. He could have gone SU-76. I honestly think he could have gone SU-76 and killed this unopposed. And it would have put a dent in his economy. It would have slowed down the IS-2 for sure. But at the same time, his opponent never would have even gotten a Panther, let alone 2 squads of ogres, a Sturm Tiger apparently. So something to think about. If you can locate this thing and destroy it early in the game, that could be that could be GG, even if it means you had to buy a crappy unit. So something to think about. Katyusha was a good adaptation to his situation. He made good usage of that. I think he could have tightened up his Molotov usage maybe a little bit. He could have maybe utilized the shock troops a little more efficiently. I saw some kind of weird early retreats. Good mines though, good mine placement, good mine usage, I liked that. And I also was a little intrigued by the usage of ghosts by this player. I don't know, sure, I could see that one, blocking the approach down to his truck. The one here in the cemetery I actually felt hurt him more than helped him. But I always like to see players experimenting with ghosts because they can add an interesting tactical element to the game. So, saw some good stuff this game. GG, Allies win.